Was it memory unit? I already forget.
There's no cloud.
There's no God. There's no heaven.
There's only shadow.
It's just hell. Iblis trigger. I hate every second of this.
You know, we really shouldn't have watched the fan dub, because now whenever she's holding that, I'm thinking Wuji's gonna go, "Hey, you like my dodo?"
I don't even remember if that's what she said.
Are you ready?
No, I'm never ready. It's been like a week and I still haven't mentally prepared or recovered.
I don't think you ever will.
It's the same boss fight.
I think what happened is he got butthurt after fighting Sonic and then came here to beat up Shadow.
I can beat the knockoff character, right?
I can beat up your, oh god.
Yeah.
Even
That's exactly how
ready.
I feel on the inside.
Even I'm not ready, and I'm not even playing.
Alright, just fucking do this shit.
Alright, so rollerblady up his leg and smack him.
Feet disappearing every once in a while.
Yeah, he's going through the snow.
It's just,
It's snow.
the snow should be melting because I'm walking with fire.
Nah, man, this snow is so cold
Did I just...
that the snow extinguishes your fire when your feet go down onto the ground.
I should have looked up what to do before.
You have to...
You have to go up his,
Alright, cool.
You have to go up his, look at those invincibility frames.
When he stops his tail, you gotta go up that.
There it is.
What? Oh, okay.
And you have to steer him into the wall. You have to like go straight on, you know? You're going too much an angle.
Alright. It's gonna throw me off right when I get to it, yep, that's the way. So your anime list, so I don't have to worry about...
I'm going through this, Andrew, and I figured out... What?
That's my subtle way of telling you, speak a little louder.
I'm going through the list, and I think you may have missed a show that the internet will lampoon you for.
What is that?
1 second.
You don't have to yell. I already know I'm gonna have to edit the way I'm gonna have to edit that down.
Never mind, it's on here. I was gonna say I didn't see JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but then I realized you divided it not in alphabetical, but alphabetical between 2 streaming services.
Yes.
I have seen season 1 of JoJo's.
I am surprised, but then you are a meme master.
I've seen part 3.
Why is there a missile?
I like how the missile just like slowly like approaches him.
Your light
What?
shineth. Fuck off. Where is it?
There he is. He's waiting.
Oh, okay. I've seen Erased.
What happened? What happened? Where am I? Where is it?
Star is what I've seen.
What the fuck? What? How did that not hit me? What is happening?
Fate Zero?
Yeah, what
Wait,
about
Fate Stay? Fate Zero? What's the difference between the two?
So Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night, they are different. Fate Stay Night actually came out first. Fate Zero is a prequel to Fate Stay Night.
Okay.
So it's like Fate Stay Night is like the early favorite, because this is the thing. I say this now like, oh, Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night are like the two. There's now like a bunch of Fate anime coming out that like have to do with like all the mythological Fate lore that the Fate series has created in video games and visual novels. Have you ever seen Fate?
The only thing I know about it is King Arthur is apparently a girl, but still called king.
King Arthur. King
should
Arthur
be a queen at that point.
Nah, it's a king.
No, why?
And she also has twin sisters.
Should be a queen.
Anywho, again, the whole series is pretty much based off of like essentially this battle royale for the Holy Grail. And what happens is all these like mythological figures
for hours.
All these mythological figures in history are summoned to this essentially Grail Wars to like fight for the Holy Grail. You have like King Arthur, but he's an anime girl. A lot of people like Q Cullen. Yeah, he shows up. Alexander the Great, Gilgamesh.
Are they all anime girls?
No, but they're not the actual epic heroes. Because Andrew, you probably want to look this up. There's a new Fate series coming up called, I think, Grand Order. It's Fate Grand Order. And Enkidu,
what do you
know who Enkidu is?
No. What are you saying? Hold on.
So in the Epic of Gilgamesh, Gilgamesh has a buddy who's like a beast man. And his name's
Enkidu?
That's Enkidu.
Okay.
Pretty much, like, there's a bunch of Fate series that are coming out right now, but, like, the two originals are Fate Stay Night and Fate Zero. Fate Stay Night came out first, whereas Fate Zero came out after. It's a prequel. Both of them are good. Surprisingly, again, unpopular. I don't really like the Fate series. I don't hate them, but I just don't really like battle royales in particular, where, like, a bunch of, like, people like fight for one like holy object or thing. They get into battles and duels and they kill each other until there's one left. You haven't seen it.
I haven't seen Fate.
It's good though.
The only thing I knew about was King Arthur's a girl.
I suggest Fate Zero. I like Fate Zero a lot more than Stay Night. Even though it's like, oh, but Fate Zero is a prequel and you should watch Fate Stay Night first.
Yeah, I just don't really like Fate Stay Night. It's okay, but the main character can really get on your nerves. But I would say Fate Zero is a lot more serious.
This is the worst thing.
Hey, it's only been 8 minutes.
It feels like it's been 50.
I noticed on here there's Chaos, Child. What's with
Chaos Child.
What's with the semicolon?
So, do you know how Steins Gate has the semicolon gate? It's made by the same people who did the visual novel for Steins Gate.
Okay.
The thing is, though, that's not a judge of quality. All the other semicolon series like that aren't very good. Particularly Chaos Child, the one you pulled up.
Yeah.
Not the best show, just in my opinion. It started off relatively interesting, but then the character's kind of lost himself. He started off as this kind of very, like, serious, very kind of intellectual character who was kind of, like, in this, like, almost like it was essentially like a mystery. And he was trying to figure out what was going on. And so he's a relatively, like, a semi-intellectual character.
Why is it up there?
But then he essentially just, like, quickly, in, like, no time became this, like, really, like, whiny, just like incoherent, extremely emotional character that made no sense for his character in the beginning of the show. And then this one girl who was literally like his like kind of bubbly airhead love interest became like super serious. It was like they just changed personalities, and it just made no sense. And the series tried to write it off as like more complex than it was, but like I just don't really have a lot of fond memories of Chaos Child. Essentially, you have Chaos Child, Chaos Head, and then Steins Gate as the semicolon. I think there's also another series called Robot Notes.
Is Chaos Child and Chaos Head related?
They actually are. Steins Gate is not, though. Chaos Head.
Why did you kick the ring?
And Chaos Child are related. So Chaos Child or Chaos Head came out before Chaos Child. I think the prequel episode of Chaos Child is really just explaining to you what happened in Chaos Head. Chaos Head is a little better, but it's like one of those type of like otaku hero journey tales, particularly similarly with Steins Gate, but the difference is like the main character really isn't as compelling, I feel, as like Okabe in Steins Gate, because Okabe is an amazing character and he's a favorite among a lot of people, but in particular, you know, just like Chaos Head, not the same. They try to go for a somewhat complex story, but again, it just doesn't really work. I think Chaos Head, unlike Steins Gate, has more to do with like alternate dimensions as opposed to time travel.
Why?
Chaos Head.
Okay.
And then Chaos Child, I think, is the same thing. Good.
Just fucking please. Oh, please.
It gets harder at this part.
Please. And it's gonna throw me off right when I get to it, isn't it? What? It's just, thank you.
You did it!
Yay!
Use a life up, man.
I lost my own life, the real one.
In exchange for your shadow lives.
That just took like 7 years off of my fucking life.
In exchange for Shadow's lives, you chose to use your own.
I didn't choose to do this. This was not my choice.
But you're playing.
Okay,
you're playing, Andrew.
And I was gonna.
But about Chaos Head and Chaos Child,
I wouldn't recommend them.
Okay. What's Golden Times?
Golden Times
is that what, Betty White and a bunch of other elderly ladies?
Funny enough,
Golden
John, you're
Years.
kind of close, but not at all.
Golden Years, the anime.
You're kind of close, but not at all.
Andrew, put up Betty White hentai, thank you.
I swear to God, Andrew.
Yeah,
Why are you okay with that?
You've seen it.
Doesn't mean I'm okay with it.
No.
Golden Time is essentially a rom-com series.
Pleasure after that.
The fact you derive pleasure from that worries me.
Yeah. Gosh.
Too much pleasure is pain. I'm already feeling pain.
You say like all the pleasure. Anyways, Golden Time is a rom-com, but unlike a lot of rom-coms that take place in like high school, this one takes place in college, and it particularly isn't about like getting into the relationship, then the series ends. It's about staying in a relationship. Pretty much like the synopsis of the show is this kind of like nerdy, your stereotypical insert protagonist coon here goes to college for a law degree essentially, and then meets this girl who's like the most refined, like perfect girl ever on the surface essentially. Like the best way of describing it is like you just imagine that perfect cheerleader type girl. The series starts off where like she is in love with I think, one of his friends. And then as he tries to, like, kind of hook her up with him, they fall in love with each other, and then they start dating pretty early in the show. And it's pretty much just about them dating. It's actually surprisingly a very good show. Like, a lot of people would say it's one of their favorite rom-coms just because it treats the whole, like, relationship element with some finesse. It does have an amnesia plot in there, though. The amnesia plot, the main character, protagonist Kun, lost his memory and then lost the memory of his previous girlfriend back in his hometown. Funny enough, she's going to the same college he's going to.
Is she trying to get back with him, but he forgets who she is?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Well, this is the thing. She doesn't get back with him. She just is, like, around him all the time. I just like how Andrew's going into, like, the darkness.
Yeah, he's just walking around the wall.
And just, like, saying, can I, like, leave this game?
What?
We've been here before in the Sonic file.
Can I recreate that? I literally just started sliding across the floor like my feet were not moving at all. Look at Rouge.
Look at Rouge, yeah.
It's disappearing. The leg's disappearing.
I would suggest Time's pretty good. Do you ever have you ever watched any rom-coms?
Not anime, no.
Yeah.
I've seen maybe some like rom-com movies.
Pretty similar to that, to be honest, just it's anime.
I saved, right? That happened.
And Golden Time's one of the better ones.
This out as it happens.
Okay.
Because then you got a bunch of them that literally is like the whole like cliche of a lot of rom-coms often is this idea that wimpy protagonist Kun can't convey his feelings to his love interest or a bunch of women that are pining after him. He spends the whole entire series being a cock tease, and then at the end he chooses one. They might kiss or hold hands, and then that's where the show ends. The whole like fantasy is just all the girls pining after this like generic, like uninspired.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing. I don't think it displays as well on the capture, but I mean, like it's still good.
So my question is, why does Shadow help people?
He needs money.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So I wonder if like the Shadow File is like Shadow goes on freelancing jobs.
Yeah.
Does Blue mean I have to do it?
I don't know. I have a higher IQ than the famous Einstein. Okay.
Funny enough, a lot of people have a higher IQ than Einstein. Einstein like had a high IQ, but not the highest by any stretch.
Well,
if you know that,
well, no, it's if you understand the progression of human knowledge, you would understand that Einstein is only going to be surpassed by people in the future because. You know, like people figure out stuff.
This is like a quiz.
They spend like a majority of their life figuring something out.
Yeah.
And then the next generation, it's like, okay, let me just build on that work.
Well, no, I'm even saying like when it comes to this idea of IQ, because like a lot of people are always like fixated on the idea. Like I don't know if you ever look into this, but I looked into this a lot. It's just the idea of IQ. It's like, oh, IQ is so important. Like funny enough, like the problem with IQ, you could have an extremely high IQ, but it doesn't necessarily define like if you would be able to problem solve extremely effectively. Or in such a way, what I mean by, like, coming up with new, like, novel ideas that no one ever thought about. Because having IQ really might aid you in, like, being able to retain large amounts of information, just memorizing things extremely well. As well as, like, your cognitive functions are very high, but it might not necessarily, like, have anything to do with creativity. And the ability to, like, find novel ways of, like, figuring out problems and solutions for problems. So what I mean by, like, Einstein didn't have the highest IQ, I more mean in the sense, like, a lot of people have, like, ridiculous IQs, like, in the 200s, weren't, like, innovators like Einstein. I don't know, like, validity, but I've heard that pretty much, like, your IQ essentially goes down when you're an adult. It doesn't really change as you essentially age. Per se, or it can actually even the whole test itself can be kind of broken if you have a certain level of education.
Yeah.
That can almost offset your IQ, where it's like you're not very smart, but then you like go through a lot of education in certain particular fields, and like lo and behold, your IQ is extremely high now in a certain subject just because you've spent so much time gaining expertise in a certain subject. It's also the idea of like, for example, let's say you put like a linguist and a chemist in a room, and you had them do a chemistry test. Let's say the linguist has an IQ of like 200, and say the chemist only has an IQ of like 150. The thing is, still, because that's their area of expertise versus like the linguist just, it's not that they're stupid or anything, it's just that's not really their area of expertise. Yeah. And so like often just kind of saying, oh, this person has a way higher IQ than this person, but where are your expertise? If you're not like, say, a mathematician, you're just, you know, you're a linguist or even like something else entirely.
This is way too smart of a conversation for this dumb of a game.
Well, we're just trying to spice up Shadow's
I also
freelancing adventures.
I forget which thing was IQ test.
Is it the SAT? Or are you thinking the SAT?
There's some kind of test that was invented like a long time ago, like 50s, 60s, whatever, and it's like actually pointless. Like it doesn't mean anything, but people still like rely on it for jobs.
In what way is it point? Is it like the SAT? Because I know that like the SAT and like the ACT, there's like a lot of problems around that. Personally, with me, just like standardized testing like that, I'm not really a big fan of standardized testing in that domain. What would like the why is the test?
Now I'm actively trying to remember it. I think it was the introvert extrovert.
I think you're talking the Myers-Briggs test.
Yes, that one's actually pointless. That's what I'm thinking of.
Did you see a few videos on it just talking about how like it doesn't really know anything?
Yeah. For some government jobs, you still have to take it, and you could not get the job because of the Myers-Briggs test.
Well, the problem with the Myers-Briggs test is it's not an intelligence test; it's a personality test.
Yeah.
And so like. If you're trying to, like, for example...
It's just the IQ thing made me think of that.
And I know a lot about the Myers-Briggs test just because I look at a lot of personality test stuff. Just, I find it interesting, but it has nothing to do with, like, intelligence or, like, aptitude. Because, for example, like I said, if you are a certain personality type that's not fit for, like, certain government position, it makes no sense because, like, if you have, like, skills in that government position, it doesn't matter if you're an extrovert when they need an introvert. It's also, like, people don't a lot of times understand the whole idea of, like, introversion and extroversion very well. Because they think, like, extroversion is just, I'm, like, a party animal and I like to be around people all the time.
Yeah.
Versus, I like to be alone and I never like to be around people. Like, has nothing to do with introversion and extroversion. The Myers-Briggs model was, like, based on Carl Jung's...
Carl Jung didn't make it.
I think he made the types, or rather he made like the functions for the personality types. Because this is the thing. How the Myers-Briggs test works is there's 16 types on the Myers-Briggs test. And they all have 4 letters. They have extroversion and introversion, E or I, intuition or sensing, N or S, feeling or thinking, F or T, and then perceiving or judging, P or J. Those are the 4 basic like types on the Myers-Briggs test and they test you, and there's 16 like letter combinations you could be. And they're like 16 personality types that are associated with these 4 letters. The thing is though, the letters themselves don't mean as much as the functions that that type uses. Funny enough, the letters themselves only like denote essentially like how your functions operate. So like for example, if I took say a random grouping, like let's say I take someone who is a introvert, who's a sensor, who's a thinker, and who's a judger. So like an ISTJ. You look at that and you think, oh, the ISTJ. They're someone who's a very practical thinker because they're a sensor, because rather than intuition, who uses abstract logic and like guesswork, and not in so much a bad way, but more in kind of intuitive way, if you understand what I mean, as opposed to sensors are very concrete. They like to have facts and information that's in the present real world, as opposed to in more of an amorphous type world, or kind of more of a theoretical world. And they're a thinker over a feeler. You would think, oh, when they make decisions, they make them based on logic as opposed to morals and like emotions. A lot of times it's almost better to essentially look at feeling as not so much as I make decisions based on how I feel. It might be more based on like morals, like personal morals and like beliefs, as opposed to like logical reasoning.
How did I get a D?
Because you took so long.
I did everything correct.
But you took long. It's Sonic game, supposed to be fast.
I didn't though.
Sonic games talking about Myers-Briggs test.
Yeah.
No, the game is literally just like memorize these numbers, which of course I took pictures and wrote them down because like I'm not putting that.
But you
much
had to go
power
fast.
Rouge.
Anyways, John.
It's not really picking up.
Is it not picking up on the capture at all? All right, Andrew. Fucking, if it picks up on your phone, you know exactly what to do. Fucking.
Anyways, John. To make matters short, the personality type I just gave you, the ISTJ.
Oh my God, it does.
Essentially, they have certain cognitive functions that they're good at, as opposed to things that are their weaknesses.
Sorry for just kicking the mic.
That are their weaknesses and kind of failings.
It doesn't even show on the capture. Like on my picture, if you look, you can like slightly see the rouge right here. Do you see it at all?
Yeah, barely.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could pick this up, but I can't.
Pretty much like with the ISTJ, if you just take that type. What it means is their first function, if they're a judging type, is going to be like a perceiving function. So either essentially intuition or sensing. As opposed to someone who's a P-type, a perceiver, essentially it's a thinking or feeling. Like again, it's how essentially this type like views the world and how do they interact with the world. And so someone like an ISTJ would most likely first off view the world as an introvert through an introverted function. Through that introverted function would be a perceiving function, so it would probably be introverted sensing. Essentially how like the functions work are like you perceive it internally or externally. Essentially it's sensing, intuition, feeling, or thinking. Sensing and intuition are like perceiving functions. They're things you use to essentially like judge or conceive the world. Perceiving functions are more used for perceiving the world, like thinking and feeling. Like if I take in information, essentially I perceive information. Do I take it in necessarily logically or more moralistically and like emotionally? I'd say the best way of describing it, John, is again like with your personality type, again it really has no merit on like your intelligence. It just necessarily means how do you function with the world. It comes to that, it's like you don't really need necessarily a very particular type of personality to do necessarily anything. You're just more inclined towards certain types of jobs. For example, if like you're someone who's very gregarious, is willing to talk to a lot of people, is very outgoing, essentially like externally oriented, extroverted careers might be the best for you, as opposed to someone who's very introverted, who likes to take their time on things, who like to be alone, to work on things independently, value their independence over like the group decisions and group mentality, then again, introverted careers might be best for you.
I'm fairly certain this dude literally just walked out of the wall. Like, he literally walked through this wall.
That's a good example of introvert. He just, like, you know, absorbs in the wall and comes
Yeah, he just he goes away and he's like, leave me alone, world. I'm just gonna hide away.
This rock loves me more than my parents.
You know, like, someone like Shadow is just a hardcore introvert. He's like, leave me alone. Rouge, why the hell are you with me?
Stop following around.
I want to be left alone. I don't like human beings or anyone by that measure.
Next episode, I will be alive, I promise. I'll continue to go through a weird anime list, and I'll continue to hate my life. And we'll talk to you guys later.
You have like 80% more of this game.
I know, that's the worst part.
Save, please.
I don't even think I need to, but like...
Just in case.
Just save all the time, because every second you lose in this game...
Oh, dear God, yes.
Yeah, like, you will, like, lose so much more. So if you don't save every second of your life, it won't be enough.